Hello, everyone. I'm Miguel, compulsive eater from Spain. Very, very happy to be here with you today. I don't come to this meeting very often, but I think I've seen and know most of you during this last couple of years, which I've been in the program. It's actually just 2-3 weeks ago that I made my 2 years mark in Graceit, which I am extremely grateful and happy to be. But it's also been it's also helped me a lot to reconnect with many things from the program, because something I realized is that this is a condition that is going to be with me for the rest of my life. I will never get cured from that, but through the program, and I've learned how to control it and how to live with it and how to carry on with my life without the burden of food. But it's important for me to remember that, because it is an ongoing battle, the one I'm fighting, and it's although it gets easier through the time, it is not easy, because it's not easy, but it's simple in a way, and it's basically just it's been requiring me to follow a very, very simple set of rules, which is weight and measure my 3 meals a day, share them to my sponsor, don't eat anything in between, no matter what, and putting my abstinence as my #1 priority in my life. And although I do it, and sometimes I struggle more than others, it is actually true that it is the most important thing in my life, because it is the key for my life. Where I was 2 years ago was in a very, very dark place in my life. I had mostly given up in my life. I knew I was 47 now, I was 45. I had more or less accepted that I hadn't really much more time to live, that eventually I would develop some kind of condition that will kill me because of my eating habits. And that's where I was. And I sort of have made, or I thought I had made peace with that, because I have just given up. I just couldn't really fight it anymore. I just didn't have any more fight in me. And I think it was mostly because I didn't really understood what was going on with me. I didn't know why couldn't I control food? I was looking for help around here. People will direct me into diets, and I would go into diet and I would lose loads of weight and then gain it again, as I suppose most of us have. But it wasn't until someone very close to me, who was a recovering alcoholic, just by being next to that person, allowed me to understand that my problem with food was the same problem that he had with drink. And then I started to think about that, and that's how I went through a series of serendipity situations. I got into Graceit, and I couldn't be happier. And I remember that the first time I got here and I approached Graceit, I was not really, my first reaction was, well, this is not for me. This is not who I am. I have heard, I have seen from the distance 12-step programs. I was like not very convinced. There were some issues that didn't fit my belief system, but I suppose I had put myself in a place where I said, okay, what do you have to lose? There's nothing, you're already given up. So what do you have to lose? Try it, and I started to talk to people. It took me like a month or nearly 2 talking with Graceiters before I decided to go ahead and start the program myself. And it's talking to these people, which they were all coming from different places different places in the world, and different places in life, and different situations. Most of them with even worse stories than mine. I was saying, okay, well, this at least for these people who they seem to be normal people and sane, and they're not fanatics or of any kind. They're just normal people who seem to have found a solution to the same problem I have. And so I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And well, 2 years later, I'm still trying every day and getting there every day. And then, so this last month, I've been reflecting a lot. You know, it's getting to this 2 years milestone has made me reflect a lot and talk a lot about that. What has meant, and what are the gifts that abstinence have brought to my life. And of course, the first one is the physical. I mean, my body is in much better condition than I was. I lost. I still need to lose more weight because I came from like a very, very overweight situation. But I'm not really obsessed about the speed I lose weight. Is whatever I'm going okay. My body is reacting fine, and it will take the time it needs to get there. But I'm not really worried because I feel better. It's just things like I have arthritis, so I was in constant pain. Like a mild pain, but constant pain every time I move my hands, I move my feet. They hurt. Now, the minute I stop giving my body sugars and carbohydrates, of course, I haven't been cured, but the pain is receded like 95%. That suddenly improved my quality of life hugely. So my body is much better, in a much better place, and I'm happy with that. But I think after 2 years, and once that I get in better shape, I'm also reflecting on what other changes, what are the impact, what are the gifts, I call them, abstinence have brought to my life. And the first one is sort of emotional stability. I am able now to manage my personal relationships much better. I suppose the way I felt before, when I was overweight and I was not abstinent, I had this kind of urge to be loved. I was looking for love and acceptance from everyone around me. I suppose because my self-esteem was extremely low, so I couldn't really love myself. I didn't like myself at all. So it was I needed the love, acceptance, and admiration, and from everyone else, and I was projecting this kind of image of myself, which I thought it was people were expecting me to be, instead of being who I was, because I didn't really like who I was. Or I thought I was a terrible person. I wasn't really worth loving the way I was. So I was trying to project, or I thought I was projecting this image of who people will love me to. And I hid myself from everyone else. I hid myself physically with a layer of fat around me that would protect me from the rest, and also would create this character of like the nice, funny, chubby guy who is lovely and everybody loves, and how he's so nice and he's always there for everyone. I would always help everyone. But I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't helping people around me because I believed I needed to help. I was doing it because I was scared they wouldn't love me anywhere else. I mean, if I wasn't, they wouldn't love me for who I was, because who I was, I thought it was a terrible, failed person. Mostly because of my situation with my food and the way I looked and the way my physical appearance was. So I always I thought the solution for my problems was in the others. The others were, they needed to change, they needed to behave with me in a different way. All these sort of fantasies I created myself in my mind. And with abstinence, this clarity of mind came as I was losing weight and I was losing these layers and layers of fat around me. I was gaining clarity and gaining a way to look at things from reality and from honesty. And I realized, my problems hasn't changed. I have more the same problems and situations around my life that I had 3 years ago. What has changed is the way I look at them, and I'm now able to face these situations in a way that is not self-distracting. It's like the same way I've eliminated from my life the food that I'm allergic to. I've also been able to eliminate from my life things and people who are toxic to me, or who I can identify what the situations that can hurt me, and where I can be even a trigger for my addiction. Now I can see them coming from the distance. I have this sort of, it's like I put a new pair of glasses that allow me to see further and further away. So I can just turn around and keep those things at arm's length from my life. And so I can protect myself much better. And I can focus in what is important for me. And the other consequence it has is that because of that, this sort of constant fear I felt in my life is nearly gone. Because fear I discover is extremely powerful force, but it's mostly not real. For me, most of my fears, they were in my mind. And I learned to fear things. If a lion enters my room now, I maybe fearful, or okay, it may eat me. But the rest of things in my life, they're not that scary. They're not that. But it has created all this. Addiction comes with a lot of fears attached to it, which are the ones who, in my case, made me okay. Where is the place where I can feel safe? And the place where I could feel safe was food. But of course, because the fear that drove me to food was not real, the solution was not real either. And I had got to a point in my life where I remember when I started to eat compulsively was probably in my early 20s, mostly when I gave up smoking. And I remember I used to I eat a lot and have these moments of binging and eating. I will get a high from that, and it will last me for a long time. At the point I was 2 years ago, my binging moments, the high I got from eating, it will last me mostly while I was eating. The minute I stopped, I felt terrible again. I had built up. Yes, they couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't. It didn't even work anymore. Food on me, and that's where I suppose I just touched like bottom. And so it's allowed me to control my fears, allow me to give me through this clarity of what's really going on in my life, allow me to take much more control of my life. And also it allowed me to discover a part of my life that I probably set aside a long time ago, which is my spiritual side. I don't suppose one of the things that kept me away from the 12-step programs for a while was the whole relationship the program was with a higher power. I'm not a traditional believer, and I was like, it didn't. I was raised Catholic, because like most of Spaniards are, and I had a Catholic education, so I could understand religion. I had religion in my life for many years, and at some point in my youth, I decided to, okay, that's not kind of belief I had. And that's fine. I think people free of belief whatever they want. But in my case, I think what this staying away from religion also drove me to stay away from any kind of a spiritual life. And I think something I have found again in the program is that I need that. I need to connect to some kind of higher power, and once I realize, okay, this is not a bunch of crazy nuts people who are just trying to take me into the cult to go wash whatever, this kind of crazy ideas I had from the outside, and I realized, okay, this is just about, you need something higher than yourself to lean into in order to be able to be abstinent, and that's an amazing truth. I believe 100%. I found a way to reconnect with my spiritual side. I found a way to find a higher power which can actually hold my hand and help me in the process. And it has also helped me a lot in other many other aspects of my life, because I had abandoned that side of me, and I had I don't know, it had put me in a more cynical place. And I must confess, cynicism is one of the qualities I hate most from people. And I have found myself being extremely cynical, and I didn't like that of me. And I think,
time.
Thank you. And connecting to this spiritual side has helped me a lot to control this cynicism and to actually be a more honest. And I feel more honest, and I feel much good person than I was. I may not be so active as I was before on helping others, but what I did before was not real. It was not for the right reasons. Now I'm more careful. I'm more aware of, okay, where do I need to put my efforts? Where can I really do good around me? Where can I really be effective? Where can I help people and at the same time helping me in keeping my abstinence? And that's something I found from this honesty that came from reconnecting with a spiritual side I had lost and forgotten. So yeah, so that's more or less what I've been reflecting a lot in the last few weeks. Yes, coming into this second year, and I hope I will, and I realize I need to be doing that all the time, and I still, it's still a work in progress. Still, lots of things I need to be doing better. There's still some things I'm very handsome into service in the program, but things like attending probably more meetings, calling more people, still something I need to improve. And it's important because yeah, as I was saying at the beginning, this is an ongoing battle. You don't win this war, and but that's fine, because you don't need to. It's more about battling every day with it. And what I realize is that if I do it if I do it a little thing every day, it's easier than if I forget about things for 2-3 months and then I have to start again. So it's an ongoing daily, it's like every morning I have to wake up and reconnect and remember who I am, remember what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And it gets easier, but it's not easy. But thanks to you all, which are for me what is really helping me and what's really making a difference in my life is that for once in my life I don't feel alone in this fight, and I'm really not alone in this fight, and that's what makes a huge difference, and that's what I think really makes this program unique and makes it successful. So thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, Kay, for taking the meeting. Thank you, Gillian, for recruiting me for this, and it's been extremely honor to be here with you today. Thank you.